breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty, breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty, breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're reclaiming our land.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness. All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is your gateway drug to liberty. Live from Denver, the Libertarian Party of Colorado State Convention. This is a state with a fierce independent streak and a government pushing harder than ever to control it. Power is consolidating, costs are rising, and the machine is not slowing down. Tonight, 3 sharp voices step in to challenge it. This is Are You Smarter Than a Politician? So joining us tonight, my friend, Allison Spink. She is the treasurer of LP Colorado, which is lpcolorado.org. Yeah, give it up. Give it up. On X, she is All Is Good 007, and LP Colorado is at LPCO. How are you tonight, Allison?
I'm super good. Super excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Why are we showing a closet door? What happened there? All right. That was weird. We had like a stalker camera there for a second. I don't know if everybody caught that. That was weird. Plug what you're up to and about the convention, please.
I am up to a few things I don't actually want to plug just yet, but maybe just follow me for some updates in the coming months. Currently just working on the financials and trying to start some getting crypto started with the party and some alternative systems going as tyranny continues to invade our lives.
Yeah, it sure does. All right. Next up, Adam Kokesh, activist, speaker, author. He has the website, thegardenofreedom.com. He also has exodusdoctrine.com. He is on Telegram, the Garden of Freedom. How are you tonight, Adam?
Fucking amazing. It's great to be here with all these libertarians and anarchists, and I can't tell the difference between them.
So I know you got a lot going on. Plug what you're doing, man.
I just wrote my second book. I've been hiding in a cabin in the woods for 4 years, and I at least have something to show for it besides an embarrassing internet history.
Excellent. I look forward to checking that out. Last but not least, Brandon Wark. He is part of Free State Colorado. That is freestatecolorado.com. He is on X at Free State Color 1. He's also on Facebook and YouTube at Free State Colorado. How are you tonight, Brandon?
Hey, doing very well. Thank you.
Excellent.
Hold on, let me answer for him. That was inadequate. He is excellent.
He is excellent as well.
Excellent.
He's really underselling himself.
Tell us about Free State Colorado, man.
Yeah, so, work hard to try and hold our local politicians accountable. Free State Colorado, every week I do a legislative live stream talking about some of the bills going through our state legislature, really analyze them from a libertarian policy perspective, and try and push back and motivate people to get involved, show up at local committee hearings, city council, and have a voice in our local governments. It's really that fight at the local level where we can have an impact and push back against this authoritarianism that's taking us in the wrong direction.
Love it, man. All right, and our Friday night shows are sponsored by Xano. If you're tired of surveillance coins dressed up as freedom tech, Xano is the real deal. It's open source, enterprise-grade privacy, scalable and secure, build, spend, and tokenize any asset without the peeping eyes. Xano isn't just private, it's none of their damn business. And if you're new to this space, visit intro.xano.org to learn how Xano gives you the power to own your own data, your money and your assets all in one simple, secure platform built for real world freedom. Thank you, Zano. And thank you to all of our subscribers. We've got a bunch of subscribers that support the show and allow us to go out and do stuff like this on the road. We really appreciate them. Ryan Woodcraft of his historic win in El Paso just subscribed today. I didn't add him to the slide because it wasn't that important. No offense, Ryan. But no, Ryan's one of my buddies. Great guy. Appreciate him subscribing. You can subscribe to us on X for exclusive content. This is your backstage pass. And if you want to sponsor the show, email studio@freedomuncut.com. And we wrapped up our state tours. This is the last one, but we will be at the national convention in Grand Rapids on the main stage. So if you're going to be a delegate or you're just attending, come see us live. I think it's Friday night at 6:30, but don't quote me on that. But it'll be a lot of fun. So hope to see you all there. And we also will be at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas in July 8th through 11th. We will be part of the You Are the Power area. And with Spike, the great Spike Cohen, and the amazing work that You Are the Power is doing. Yeah, let's hear it for Spike. And You Are the Power, absolutely. And if you're going to go to Freedom Fest to support You Are the Power, use the discount code SPIKE100 to get $100 off. That's freedomfest.com. If you don't know Freedom Fest, I like to call it the Super Bowl of the Liberty Movement. It's a great time. It's everybody who's somebody is there, and it's going to be excellent. So hope to see you all there. All right, let's jump into the chat real quick. So like I said, you can join the chat by visiting either at Smarter Game Show on X or at Freedom Uncut on YouTube. Scientific Libertarians here. 100 to Adam for the awesome Tiger King outfit. That's fair. That's fair.
I'll take it.
You got points for it. So 100 to Allison for saying, fine, I'll do it, to the treasurer position.
Who's that from?
That's scientific too. Anarchist Chefs here. What's up? 200 to Allison. Tyranny invades. Jake Days here from the If by Whiskey podcast. What's up, buddy? Jesse the Freeze here. What's up, Jesse? Waz is here. How's it going, Waz? Rob Yates, who's running for LNC chair, is here. What's up, Rob? Oh, there he is. The great Ryan Woodcraft of the historic victory in El Paso. He makes me say that every time. It's not, I don't have Tourette's or something. What's up, everybody? Let's go. 100 to Brandon. The great Amity Lee, usually on site, but not tonight. She's here. 200 to Allison. Hey, friend. And that guy in Denver is giving us a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Are you live here? Is that somebody here? All right. Let's jump into it then. This is Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Thank you again to LP Colorado for having us out. We're having a great time. You can join LP Colorado by visiting lpcolorado.org. Please share this out. I don't know if it's because I'm anti-war or anti-government or whatever it is, but they're stepping on us on social media. So if you could share this out, we would appreciate it. Like I said, I am at Smarter Game Show on X.
Wait, are you saying
Did I get too close, or what did I do?
freedom is censored on the internet?
I don't think they like the freedom stuff. They seem to like the tyranny stuff and the statist stuff. but
It's
not the
almost like
freedom
they
stuff.
don't want their system overthrown.
That's true. That's true. And especially by a dumb game show. I think that's part of it. But
This is it, how it's going to happen. In 10 years, we're going to look back on LP history. It was all a waste of time compared to this.
all right. So my producer joining us live from Florida is Terry Batts. She's at Batts T76. Like I said, Amity Lee helps us behind the scenes. Amity Lee 13, and the great Cassie Rasmussen, who does the podcast They Both Suck semi-annually on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. You can check that out. He's at American versus Gov. Appreciate you, buddy.
If the title is They Both Suck, who are the other two hosts?
Oh, he nodded at me. He nodded at me. And you can get my gear at freedomsuperstore.com. We got shirts. We got mugs. We got the Make Anarchy Great Again one. My other car is a Killdozer. We have cool stuff. And like I said, you can follow us on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. And tonight, the grand prize, since Trump ruined peace prizes, we decided we're going to take it back. So the grand prize is the Are You Smarter Than a Peace Prize. Also on our prize shelf, We have Mike Johnson's signature cologne, Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead Teddy Bear. We also have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician if you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. We have an assortment of libertarian bobbleheads, including the great Ron Paul and Justin Amash. Also on the prize shelf, a TSA training kit if you need to make a few extra dollars. It's got the honorary community college degree and the grow practicing growing replica if you need to cop a grab on that. And I wanted to do something special for Colorado. So this is Colorado. On the prize shelf is government weed. Why grow it for free? If you want to get higher prices, buy it from the government. And new this week is the Strait of Hormuz bath set. This is good if you have a mental midget, you need to take a bath and you need to occupy their time. We have the Strait of Hormuz bath set. We also have the Trump nativity set. We can't get rid of this piece of shit, so one of you has to take it home with you tonight. It's already April. We've had it since November, and nobody will take this thing, so please take it. And of course, we have the Lego Killdozer, because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Casey do. All right, so here are the rules. I'm not the host. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are you have one debate, one filibuster. You can veto an answer, tariff an answer, redistribute an answer in the true Colorado Democratic spirit. And everybody starts off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first.
Sir, quick question. Do we have to remember any of these rules?
No, the rules are all fake. I should have mentioned that. The rules. I wrote these rules like 2 years ago, and we never actually defined any of them, so they're all fake. Yeah.
I already forgot them. I win.
Yeah. So here's how scoring works. The chat controls the score, so you can give or take up to 100 points from contestants. You can have a good reason. You can have a bad reason. We don't really care. And because I am the government and I believe in crony capitalism, subscribers can give or take up to 200 points because they pay me, so they matter more. Okay? Nuking a score. Any former contestant can nuke a score, taking it down by 1,000 points. The twist is a contestant can only be nuked one time, and it's got to be for a good reason.
I have a question. Can I nuke people?
No, because you're on the show.
But I'm a former contestant.
No, but because you're on the show. You can't give points or nuke when you're a contestant.
Okay.
Is this like golf? You're going for the lowest score possible?
Some have played it that way. Yeah.
That's the plan.
Allison, people were trying to be nice to each other on the show, and I didn't like that, so I
fuck
got
that.
rid of that. They were giving people points, and I didn't like that kumbaya bullshit. So, all right, let's get going here. And Adam, the first question is to you. The category is foreign wars and American interests. Does the U.S. get more blowback than benefit from intervention overseas?
I was in Fallujah in 2004 with the Marines. It still feels like blowback.
All right. Excellent. All right, Allison, to you, the question is defending allies worth risking American lives and debt?
No. First off, I'd debate what an ally means. I think we're defending allies that aren't actually people that support or care about us in any means. And I'd also like to define what defend means, because I don't think we actually defend anybody. So I think that question is a bit silly, but you need to.
I'd like to join Allison in her rejection of the false premises of the question and object to her use of the word "we" when referring to government.
We,
Yeah.
we, the government. Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully, I've answered that question.
Brandon, to you. Have recent wars done more to destabilize regions than secure them?
War is totally a destabilizing force. It's the great evil of our time. We are in an age of endless war, it seems, and we need to push back against it. Peaceful noncompliance with this whole agenda. These people that are running our government, and when we truly understand the nature of what they're trying to do, it's not for the benefit of the people of the country. It's for their special interests, little buddies, so they can make money, totally destroying all of their enemies, not our enemies.
Totally agree.
So war on
All
humanity.
Back to you, Adam. The category is Iran and escalation risks. Has this conflict already gone further than Americans were told it would?
So I'm not even going to try to answer that. Steven Pinker, Harvard professor, has proven academically that violence, as measured by an individual's likelihood to be killed at the hands of another human being, is following a radioactive decay curve over the course of human history. And we have evolved war to the point where we get to have a party while we're a nation at war. And wars are evolving where it's more government people taking out government people. And I object to it less and less as it evolves.
All right. Allison, to you. Is the Strait of Hormuz disruption proof this war hits Americans at home?
I mean, it's one example on how it hits us at home. I think when you're evaluating war, it's a lot larger than the price of gas. It's the price of our souls. It's the price of our future. It's the price of, I'll say, our soul again. We're literally paying to bomb orphanages. Orphans. I was going to say orphans and turned into orphanages. I mean, we as a society, I don't care about the price of oil as much as I care about my labor paying for the murder of children. It decays us as a society, to kind of go off what Adam has said. It degrades us. We are a species that evolves, and the government and the fiat currency keeps us in this violence and in this evil, and I'll just call it Satan, whether it is an actual being or a concept or anything. It's just evil. And yeah, again, run on answer. Hope I've answered that question. But the Strait of Hormuz, I honestly don't give a shit. Human life is more important than oil.
Amen.
But could I interest you in a bath set? That's my follow-up question.
Bath set.
That's my follow-up question.
In a math set?
No, a bath set. I have a nice
bath
bath
set?
set on the prize shelf.
Thank you.
It takes the dirty off, Allison.
It doesn't?
All right. Brandon, is escalation with Iran being driven more by politics than necessity?
The whole thing's driven by politics. You know, the idea here is that the United States government is acting in the interests of foreign governments, not in the interests of the American people. And thousands of innocent people have been killed. It's horrendous. It's absolutely evil, and it needs to be stopped. I mean, ultimately, yeah, it's gone too far. It never should have happened whatsoever. And there should be some account for the horrible war crimes that are being committed in the name of the American people.
You're starting to sound like a smart version of a politician.
We should make a game show about that. That'd be cool. All right. Back to you, Adam. The category is war incentives and defense spending. Are wars more likely when the defense industry profits from them?
That's so obvious. I'd like to change the subject and ask, where are we smoking after this? I still can't tell if I'm not high enough or too high.
Some of the questions are a little obvious, but I mean, I like to say the questions aren't dumb, the government is. So, I mean, I just have so much to work with,
There are no stupid questions, only stupid people.
Yeah, in the government. All right. Allison, is the military budget too large to be seriously questioned?
The military budget is, I can curse on YouTube.
You can.
It's fucking nauseating. They are destroying us, our children's future, our grandchildren's future, to murder children. It's disgusting. It's unnecessary. It's putting our resources into something that destroys us. I think everyone in this room knows taxation is theft. But these disgusting, horrendous human beings, if you even want to call them human, are stealing from us to destroy us. And the military budget is a great objective example on how they're destroying mankind. Even if we want to disregard the fact that it's coming at a huge budget deficit, and the part that's not a deficit is funded by theft and coercion, we could be spending that money on things that help people, that advance our species in a good way, and we're just throwing it away on just evil and violence and murder and designing society in a way that does not serve us.
So the too long didn't read is the military budget is too damn high.
It's
Too damn high.
It exists,
Yeah.
and that means it's too damn high. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Brandon, to you. Should the Pentagon pass a full audit before receiving more funding?
The Pentagon should have a full audit before they shut down. Is what we should do. But yes, audit everything, audit every penny of it, and then make these people pay. Maybe we go back to these defense contractors, these weapon manufacturers, all the big defense contractor lobbyists, and get our money back from them because they've been ripping us off to wage this global war of empire for too long.
Put them on blockchain.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's just raid the building and steal all the office supplies.
All right. Back to you, Adam. The category is the surveillance state. Is mass data collection ever justified in modern society?
To answer the question.
When done not by government, you can look at whatever you want. You can remember whatever you want. But when you violate people's rights to do so, that's when we call it government.
All right. I like
Or
it.
Palantir.
Same thing.
All right. Allison, to you.
Did I hear from the back Palantir sucks?
They do suck. If
We're very sad they left.
If you'd like to hear it from this side, yeah, they suck. All right.
Woe is we.
Allison, are Americans being tracked more than they realize?
Oh, absolutely. And I think sometimes the government even admits it. I believe Polis during COVID talked about how they were tracking us on our cell phones. They can listen to us on our, it doesn't matter. It's all warrantless. They can go to a company and get our data. They know where we are. They know what we're talking about. They have track our computers. It's absolutely disgusting. The invasion that they're doing on our privacy. Such a disgusting invasion.
I agree. All right, Brandon, to you. Is surveillance making people safer or more controlled?
You know, I think the surveillance state is one of the biggest threats we face as a society these days, for sure. Driving down here earlier today, I drove by, one of these big gas stations they just built on Highway 76 out there. They had one of those flock cameras right at the entrance. It's one street to get into this huge truck stop gas station. So every single car, every single truck that drives into that parking lot, they're reading your license plate. It's going to some AI database, and they can track you, tell you what's going on. This should scare the ever-living crap out of every single one of us. But I got to say, it is one of the biggest issues that can unite people across the political spectrum, left, right, center, independent, whatever you want to be. This issue is the issue that we can unite on, we can push back on, and we can win on. I think it's going to be the really clarion call for the libertarian movement going forward, is pushing back against this massive surveillance state. There's so many problems and so many things that we can do about it. So, it's a horrible issue, but I'm very optimistic that this could be one of the issues that brings people together in our country to push back against the government.
Love it. Great answer. I would love for that to unite us.
Mr. Free, before you go to the next, I really liked Allison's question better than mine on the last one. Her answer was a lot better too, but I want to add something really critical to that. And the awareness of surveillance, it's not just that, it's they are applying the computing power of LLMs, of immense data processing, to literally know you in ways better than you know yourself. And they are using that against us. It's scary because this technology is so empowering, and it's in the wrong hands. Know thyself, the truth will set you free. We need to actively take that back. But most Americans are sleepwalking through this nightmare.
Totally agree, man. All right. Back to you, Adam. If you like this question, you can answer it, or you could answer any of the previous questions.
I'm going to say what I want anyway.
Yeah. We're freestyling here. It's cool. All right. So the category is ICE operations in sovereign cities. Is Washington undermining local self-government when it imposes immigration crackdowns?
Wait, did you just imply that there are sovereign cities in America?
Theoretically.
No. Final answer.
Final answer. All right. So, yeah. All right. I don't disagree. All right. Allison, to you. And Adam might jump in and answer this at some point. So,
I expect
it. So, should cities be able to block federal immigration raids inside their own communities?
Oh goodness, this is a hard one. Just to not piss people off, not to answer. I believe in the smallest measure of governance, which is the individual, and working up from there. So from that perspective, I believe that any local authority should be able to make their own rules. I don't believe the federal. Can you ask me that question again? Because I kind of lost my.
Can you use it in a sentence?
People, I'm not the only one that does this. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's and you guys can't see the question, so that's fair. Should cities be able to block federal immigration raids inside their own communities?
Okay. I think short answer is yes. I think it's not. I think like life, it's not black and white. I know living in Aurora, where we are now, there were gangs taking over apartment buildings, and if the local authorities aren't going to do anything, which they weren't doing anything, then someone should do something. It is my belief that it is the people that should do something, not at a higher level of government, and that it's the government that prevents us from doing that. I'm happy to strap on my AR-15 and go freaking raid some apartment buildings and scare out some gang members with some other people in this room, but the government stops us from doing that. So the power is with the people, not with the state, not with the local state, not with the city state, the state, the government, the federal state, any of the states. The power is ours, and we should be the ones taking care of it.
Did that question suggest that cities, you said cities as if, were you actually referring to the city governments in the question?
City, sheriffs,
Because if you say
anybody.
the city government, any question that starts with should the government, the answer is fuck no.
Well, all right. So I'll play this game. Should the government block the government? Should the local government block the federal government?
I mean,
I win. You heard that. I won that one.
Neither has a right to exist.
I think
Game, set, match.
the government blocking the government is a form of Aikido, and it's extremely entertaining to watch.
I don't know what this has anything to do with Swedish furniture.
The government blocking the government. It's just funny.
You said IKEA.
Aikido.
Oh, I thought you said
Aikido, using the enemy's force against themselves. All right, Brandon's question.
I don't think anybody's seen this show before, Casey. All right, Brandon, to you. Do mass immigration raids make communities safer or more chaotic?
They definitely make the communities more chaotic, that's for sure. I think immigration is one of the biggest issues and one of the more complex topics in libertarian theory these days, because how do we keep out the non-libertarians from coming into our community, right? Should we have a mechanism to stop communists from moving into our local communities? That would be one argument. However, when we realize that the federal government itself is illegitimate, to turn to them for any type of enforcement activity is a non-starter.
Couldn't you keep communists out by just having free markets?
Well, when there's a government that has force and they invade the government and they impose the force.
As long as they can't vote.
Voting is violence.
All right. On that note, enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. Share this out again if you're enjoying what you're seeing here. Let's jump into the chat. It is hopping. My buddy Jacob Winograd from the Biblical Anarchy podcast is here. What's up, buddy? It is 11 Eastern here. You guys better bring the heat with a question mark. I don't know what we're questioning here. All right. Sir Gibby's here. What's up, Sir Gibby? Welcome to Colorado. Appreciate you. Woodcraft says, Mrs. Woodcraft says minus 100 to free for matching his shirt to the wallpaper. I thought you were supposed to match the carpet to the drapes. I thought that was a thing. 2 million points to Terry for putting up with our BS. That's fair. 100 to Adam for smoking the most weed before, after, and possibly during the show. Probably also eating some of it would be my guess. My buddy William's here. What's up, William? That guy in Denver is here. What's up? 1 point to Adam just cause. That might swing the whole match. You never know. Lex reposted. Appreciate you. The
we doing
great Joe
Price is Right
Hanush out
rules
of
now?
Florida is here. 100 points to Adam if he brings back Adam Loves the Man show. A million points for
dead.
the bath set. I'm glad somebody liked the bath set. I thought that was
That character is dead.
200 to Allison, one of my favorite internet friends and follows. 100% true. Minus 200 to Allison for arguing points with free. LOL. Yeah, don't argue with the government. It'll only have you end up in jail.
Yeah, you're not supposed to argue with them. You're supposed to just go straight to overthrowing.
200 to Adam for looking like Macho Man Randy Savage. He kind of sounds like him too. Say snap into a
Snap into a Slim
Yeah, I was
Jim.
gonna say snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah, perfect. 200 to Allison. What is an ally? 200 to Allison for her use of a dictionary. Yeah, this is not an open book test. 200 to Allison for being anti-war. Anarcho Cat, my buddy's here, one of the best memers on the internet. Check him out. 100 to Allison for knowing what the definition of ally and defend are. Brent Freeman's here from the Aiming Up podcast. What's up, Brent? 200 to the winner of an arm wrestling competition between Allison and Adam. Let's just skip forward. Allison wins that. 100 for rejecting the premise of the question. That's not fair, Joe. We don't like that. 200 to Adam.
I like that.
100 to Adam for taking a question and announcing not going to answer that. Yeah, that happens a lot. 100 to Adam for the Pinker reference. 199 to Adam if green is his favorite flavor of crayon. Is that fair?
I can do green and blue.
Yeah. 200 to Allison for pointing out the true cost of war. 100 to Allie, cost of war. 100 to Allison for not wearing a beard. That got you some points. 100 to Allison.
It's a beard sandwich. They sat us this way intentionally. You got that?
100 to Allison. Run-on answers are the best, especially during lightning round. I think that might have been a dig. 200 to Brandon. The price of the government. Oh, there's that weird closet again. Where are you getting that from? That was weird. Aliens. Is that aliens? All right. 200 to Brandon. Price of government. 100 to Allison, the cost of war. 200 to Brandon, the war is being driven by the interest of a foreign government. I don't even know which one you're talking about, Andy. 100 to Brandon for 2 pieces of flair. Very nice.
If we want to hear more about what the government knows about aliens, all we have to do is keep talking about Iran and the Epstein files.
That's true. That's true. Maybe Melania will do a press conference.
One person
and
knew
tell us about it.
exactly what I was getting at
Yeah.
immediately. Thank you.
Our friend Ocean Blues here. Check out her artwork. She's awesome. 100 to Brandon, forgot why, but trust my plan. 100 to Allison for the swear jar. 200 to Allison for the first curse word of many, probably. 200
That
to
was not the
Allison for
first.
military spending.
She asked if we were allowed to say fuck after it had been said a dozen times.
Yeah.
It's been cut off. I don't even hear it.
Our friend Catalyst is here. What's up? 100 to Allison, stealing from us to destroy us. 100 to Allison, taxation is theft. Libertarian Party of El Paso County, Texas is here. We had a really good time in Texas last week. Hello from the real El Paso County. Is that like some sort of Colorado slur? You have an El Paso County?
It's better.
Is it? All right. 200 to Brandon, adult everything. 100 to Adam for the anti-bloodshot eyes glasses. No one can tell you're doing great. Thumbs up emoji. 100 to Adam for Palantir sucks. 100 to Allison, put it on the blockchain. 200 to Allison for tracking people. 200 to Allie, 1A is dead. 200 to Allison, my FBI handler told me that they don't spy on people as much as you said they do. 100 to Brandon for anti-surveillance. 100 to Adam for addressing the host as Mr. Free. That might be a game show first right there. 100 to Brandon. No one wants to see what happens at a truck stop. 200 to Brandon. Surveillance state plus AI is nightmare fuel. Have to fight it. 100 to Brandon. Flock your flock cameras. Hank, I'm not going to say it. 200 to Adam for refusing to submit to the government of free. That's absolutely fair. 100 to Adam for rewriting and stealing contestants' answers because the rules are all fake.
Fuck IP too.
Yeah, I love it. 100 to Adam, sovereign cities. No, short and sweet. 200 to Allie, personal liberty above all. 100 to Adam for wanting me to know myself, but myself just wants to be acquaintances. My buddy, the great Chris Townsend's here. 200 to me for sticking with it despite all the trouble. Did we have trouble? Was there trouble? We have like a weird closet cam thing, but other than that, I think it's going good. 100 to Brandon, not building a wall to keep libertarians in the country. Minus 100 to KC for still not understanding how his camera works. He's still doing fucking settings. We're getting like, would you like to put the time for Estonia on the camera right now?
Yes.
100 to Allison for the beard sandwich. And this is the first haunted show. 200 to Casey for channeling the spirits in Colorado. Oh my God, that is so true. The weird closet thing is really weirding me out. All right, let's check the scoreboard here. In the lead is Allison, 2,700 points. Adam just behind, 2,501. And Brandon not far behind, 2,300.
Don't care.
Yeah, that's cool. It's all fake.
That was
all,
Ernie
it's all
Hancock
fake.
said that.
All right, back to you, Adam. And this category is sponsored by Xano. Appreciate them sponsoring the show. The category is crypto control and financial freedom. Is crypto a threat to government control of money?
First, let me just say, I am such a great libertarian that when I hear your questions, I don't even hear the questions. I hear false premises and logic holes and chances to object and all that. And earlier you said in your introduction, you can get this if you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. I believe that was the exact phrase you used.
That's
right?
kind of our brand, yeah.
You know you're in a room of libertarians, right?
Yeah.
I became a libertarian to annoy my friends and neighbors.
That's fair.
And I'm very good at it.
What about the fashion aspects? Did you become a libertarian?
My fashion sense is extremely annoying, even to me.
Yeah, right. All right. Did you want to answer the question?
Was there? I didn't hear a question.
All right, let's try this again. Adam, to you. Is crypto a threat to government control of money?
Government money being forced on people is a fucking racket to begin with. You got to escape somehow. One of the things I love about the homestead lifestyle in my off-grid community is how much off-books transactions there are, how much barter and generosity and love and sharing and seeing, like Allison was saying earlier about the soul, the sacrifice made in war, the real cost of that. That's what you are doing every time you use their money. I would go a step further than that because I shit in a bucket every day. I have a compost toilet. Does anybody here, raise your hand if you shit into water in porcelain?
None of your business.
Okay, so that water.
Let's not put the camera on that, Casey. We don't want to see this part.
That water has a tax attached to it, which means you motherfuckers call yourselves libertarians and you literally cannot take a shit without subsidizing pedophilia. I rest my case. By the way, the topic of my talk tomorrow after the banquet, I'm going to wait till people are done eating. How to take a shit. Because apparently you're all doing it wrong. And this scrubbing porcelain, like really? It's barbaric.
I have no idea what to do with any part of that answer at all. Let's just pretend it didn't happen and move on. Allison, to you. Should individual rights to private, unrestricted asset custody be absolute?
Absolutely. And I think, to kind of piggyback off the question to Adam, it's not crypto that's a threat to government control. It's the non-custodial aspect of it. It's their inability to seize our money. It's their inability to control our money. That's the threat. And whether that comes through crypto or gold backs or silver or whatever means there are, it's anything outside the fiat system. And I'll just keep going with my run-on answers. It's the fiat system that gives them the control of everything. It's the system that keeps us in endless war. It's the system that keeps us dependent on them. And we have the ability and the capacity and the technology to leave the system. And I will be guilty of it myself, and I'll admit it to you all, but we all have the option to leave and we're not. So also piggyback on Adam's statement, we are complicit. We are consciously complicit in the murder of children because we're too confused
Well,
or
I'm not. I
lazy
see
or
from the United States.
to leave their system because we're nice and comfy and cozy in it. Freedom isn't comfy cozy. We need to get out of their control. We need to feel discomfort. And you need to get comfortable in the discomfort.
How did you do that?
Do what?
You just took like a series of bad jokes and turned it into a really smart sounding answer.
I know, it's really cool, isn't it?
I like how she turned asset custody
I know.
into pedos bombing children.
Yeah.
Like that was quite the pivot there. All right. Brandon, to you, should individuals be free to transact without oversight?
Oh, totally. You know, if people want to deposit something in a bucket, they can. If they want to use a porcelain toilet with water, they sure as hell should be able to. You know what I mean? No, but and to piggyback on a little bit what Allison was saying, it's the KYC, right? It's this whole component that they're pushing with surveillance because crypto is a threat. Crypto and digital freedom is one of the biggest threats to the system, to the state. So what we really need to fight back against, we're seeing it in Colorado. There's a bill going through our state legislature currently, Senate Bill 51, just passed out of the state Senate. Now it's in the state House. We're seeing it at the federal level, this age verification system, right? The feds, the local governments are pushing this idea that if you want to use crypto, if you want to use a computer, if you want to use an operating system, your phone, they're moving to the point where they're going to want digital ID. We have to stop that now. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck using buckets for bathrooms the rest of our days.
Little by little by little.
Calling crypto a threat to government is like calling a chastity belt a threat to a rapist.
All right. So, Brandon, follow-up question to you. Would you trade Adam's bucket for a Trump shitcoin?
Depends if the bucket was full or empty.
All right, that's fair.
It's full.
That's fair. All right.
Full of shit. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. It's like, I don't know, it's like 4:00 in the morning in Florida right now. I'm like hallucinating. All right. So,
No, this is real. Stay present. Stay with us, Mr.
all right,
Free.
Adam,
Great.
to you. The category is decentralized finance, also known as DeFi. Should people be allowed to lend, borrow, and trade without centralized gatekeepers?
How dare you even suggest that anyone has a right to impede that?
Have you met our government?
Oh, shit.
Like I said, the question
I
is
try
how
to forget
stupid
them.
the government
Try to
is.
forget about it as much as I can. I've been doing a pretty good job, honestly.
All right, that's fair. All right, Allison, to you. Should code-based financial systems be regulated like banks?
Oh, we were talking earlier today on my view of anarchy and the government and things not really being all that different. It's just the difference between consent and coercion. And I often think, I'm an accountant, and I think of what accounting would be like in a world where there was no government and there should still be standards. Oh my goodness. Free. I've lost the question again. You were talking
Oh, my
about
Lord.
financial systems and regulating them. The government should have no say in financial systems. The government shouldn't exist. The government is violence and coercion and force and the degradation of humanity and our evolution. Everything should be voluntary, and it should be all of our choice to it be included in systems. There should be many different organizations that there's Gap and there's this one, and companies should involuntarily choose which one to be in, and their investors should look at which organization and what rules they follow and make their decisions based off of that. The government should have no say in financial systems. The government should not exist. It should not say in anything.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer. All
Sorry,
right.
that's not very libertarian, but I guess we're libertarians and anarchists here. But
Brandon, to you. Could DeFi do more to open opportunity than Wall Street ever did?
I think the potential's there for sure, you know, and it's this idea of separation of finance and government, right? If we get the Federal Reserve gone, if we get private competing currencies, including digital currencies and other systems in which we could have decentralized finance where people can borrow, loan, use credit, whatever outside of the government system. I mean, that's ultimately how we can separate ourselves from this control system, because so much of the control system, as we all know, is tied to our money. And the fact that they control our money, they control what we can earn, what we can keep, how much wealth we can accumulate in our lives by inflating it away. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggest, most exciting things we have. And of course, I think that's why we're seeing so many threats to this digital freedom that is just on the verge. This new technology is on the verge of becoming much more mainstream. So the potential's there. It's up to us, each and every single one of us, to be the entrepreneurs, to be the leaders, to be the people pushing back and creating these systems outside of government control in order to create a free society.
Objection. Brandon said introduced the idea of the separation of state and finance, right? Is that
Yes.
your point? The phrasing you suggest is that you separate them and they're both allowed to continue to exist. I disagree.
We're going into anarchism versus statism and limited government, libertarian. Yeah.
I don't think I know
Next
what any of that
question.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah, abolish the state. Okay.
Side
Well
point.
then,
Side point. Can we put the audio back where it was? Because they said that the live stream, it's kind of choppy now. Can you put it back where it was? Maybe.
No,
Thank
we're
you.
choppy in real life. That's good audio, actually.
There's a lot going on here. It's a live show.
Authentic.
It's all good. All right, Adam, back to you. The category is localism and agorism.
Fuck
Is-
yeah.
Is local
Final
trade?
answer.
Yeah, let's hear it for localism and agorism for sure. Is local trade and mutual support more resilient than dependence on national systems?
I'm just grateful that every time I fill up my tank, I get to subsidize the war in Iran. But yeah, when like I said, in my homesteading community where we all live off grid, there's so much value that until you've lived it, you don't know what you don't know. And there's so much rich value in interacting eye to eye with your neighbors and loving your neighbor as yourself and saying, if I have something, I want to share it. I want the people around me to be at least as comfortable as I am. And that's an incentive for peace and cooperation and the non-aggression principle. Because why do people commit violence? It's some desperation, some disorder, some need, want. I want everybody to be satisfied. And when you act locally and really simply love your neighbors and take that attitude of, if I'm comfortable and you're uncomfortable, that's not a good situation.
All right, love it. All right, Allison, to you.
Applause
Should
break.
people build parallel systems outside political power when the system fails them?
I don't think you should wait for the system to fail you to build alternative and parallel systems. It's my personal belief that you don't need to work to destroy government. The government will do that themselves. I think if you actually learn from history, you'll see that happen in every government that has ever existed. And I think if you look at the US government, you can see that happening real time. I think our energy should be spent on building parallel systems while the system is working as designed. I believe the US government will collapse. It's just a matter of time. And what scares me is what happens after that happens. What system is going to be put in place? Who is going to have a say in that system? It's also my belief that the libertarians are the smartest people in the room, and that our beliefs are the ones that should survive into the next system, and that it's on us to be building a future for the rest of society and humanity.
I got to object to a premise of that question. You said if the system fails us, that's like implying that it intended to serve us in the first place in any way whatsoever. And yeah.
Yeah, the system was designed to enslave us.
It's like my mugger really failed me tonight. Who says that?
Brandon, to you. Do communities solve problems better when they rely less on centralized institutions?
Decentralize everything. That is the path forward for freedom. Decentralize food production, decentralize our ability to live and defend ourselves and to build local production systems. We got decentralized markets, decentralize everything. That's how we're going to be free. That's where it's coming from. Building parallel systems outside of state control where we can have our own currencies, our own systems of exchange. I mean, ultimately, yes, centralization is one of the greatest threats. And I think we're seeing it, as our societies become so complex and things have become so centralized, you have that one central point of failure. And all of a sudden you can have a system-wide collapse. I mean, talk about global oil production, the fertilizer production, all these other types of things. And even just the shift in agriculture in our country, right? Where you have these massive factory farms. If something happens at that centralized point of control, people are going to starve. So decentralize everything as much as possible, as soon as possible, and hope for the best.
sorry, I'm just gonna jump on here too. I think the centralization doesn't even just create that. Everything Brandon said is accurate, but it, more importantly than that, it disconnects us from each other. We're no longer a community. We're just sheep in a system. It's not me knowing my local butcher, or I don't even know any examples off the top of my head, but it disconnects us. It takes away our humanity. It takes away our relationship with each other. It takes away our community. And it turns us into very cold, distant, asshole people. And you can see it with the freaking people who won't even hold their door open at Costco.
I think you were looking for cobbler, baker, candlestick maker.
Sure, maybe.
You're welcome.
Turning into a nursery rhyme here. All right. Brandon, back to you. Do we? No, that
For
was
you who
Brandon,
are
right?
listening
Sorry, I took
and
Brandon.
not
all right.
watching, he
Adam's
is
turn.
very intensely stroking his
I was-
beard right now.
I was
in
mildly paying
anticipation.
attention. All right, Adam, back to you.
I see what you're doing, Brandon. I see what you're doing.
The category is technocratic governance. Are unelected experts gaining too much power over daily life? What did I say? Yeah.
Are they gaining too much power?
Are unelected experts?
Just to be contrarian, I would make the case that they have the exact right amount based on what has been willingly conceded to them by the lazy and ignorant.
So you're in favor of it?
No, I'm against people being lazy and ignorant.
Okay, that's fair.
Did that need to be said?
That's the hotter take. That's the hotter take. All right, Allison, you. Have Americans been trained to obey systems they do not control?
Oh my goodness. My son is a senior in government school, and I know it's.
Wait, you let your enemy educate your children, as Malcolm X warned against?
The government forces me to. Side note, but he told me about his economics history. I don't know, something where the teacher said you're born into a system and there's nothing you can do about it, which is
Lies.
grotesque. But yeah, I think a lot of people are. I mean, it's the root cause of, not the root cause, but it's a huge issue in our society where children are indoctrinated into a system and they don't know anything else. And it's been rampant. They started, I honestly believe the government plans these things centuries in advance. But government schooling, the government system, everything, it leads people to believe it's needed and it's necessary and we can't survive without it. And you can see this in any roads argument on social media. I mean, we clearly can't have roads without government, right? We can't help our neighbor without government. We can't do anything without government. And children are very easily conditioned. It's a psychological fact. And the government takes advantage of that. And we need new systems, and we need to show these people that the system that they're in isn't the system that they have to be in, that we need to give them options to exit it, and take our power back.
I think you just missed the deeper layer, if I may. Government schools brainwash people into thinking that they're never getting brainwashed.
Oh, absolutely. Indoctrinated people have no idea that they're indoctrinated. I mean, that
It's the
goes
greatest
for anything.
gaslighting.
That's not even just government though. I mean, that includes any child. I mean, children are indoctrinated into their family values, whether they're good or bad. They're indoctrinated into religion. They're indoctrinated into almost everything. And the government studies this stuff and they know how to control our minds. And we often think that the coercion and the force is their strongest power, but it's not. It's their control and manipulation of our minds to convince us that we need them, to manipulate our fear and our anxiety, to tell us that they're our saviors. Sorry, I'm running on again, but we all worship something and they make themselves the God that we need to worship. And it's absolutely disgusting.
So your answer is that we should let our minds get so out of control that even the government can't control it. Okay, I'll try that.
Chaos is beautiful. Let it fucking go.
All right, Brandon, to you. Is the country becoming too comfortable with decisions being made by people nobody voted for?
Yeah, the deep state is real. The bureaucracy is real. I pay really close attention to what happens in our local government, and it's absolutely wild to see so many of the decisions. I ran for city council last year, and one of the first things you really learn when you really start paying attention at the city level is how little power city council members actually have. It's the town manager, the city manager, the town staff, this entrenched bureaucracy that's going to be there after the 4 years when the city councilors are out. These people who have this long-term plan, this vision for what they want to centrally plan the community to be like, and they ultimately end up being the ones making the decisions. So often democracy is described as this illusion of choice, and there is some truth to it. Don't get me wrong, but it ultimately comes down to us as individuals being able to take that power back, recognize what's happening to us, and push back against the machine, push back against the beast. We can do it. I really do believe we can do it. I think, if the situation was hopeless, their propaganda wouldn't be necessary, right? We're in a situation where this government, this control system we exist within has to spend so many resources, decades of public schooling, so much millions of dollars in this news media organization just to convince us of things that can fall apart so quickly. I mean, look at the situation we're in now. I'm so hopeful because so many people distrust the government. So many people distrust the media. People are looking for solutions. People are looking for alternatives. And let's hope that the libertarians were able to provide it.
Brandon, I don't know if you care or not, but the question was about discomfort. And you also said decades of government education. Did you get held back a few years?
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about the intelligentsia.
shows.
Intelligentsia, this scholar class that gets their doctorate and their PhDs, and they're the ones that are ultimately the unelected, become these unelected bureaucrats. These people with all the degrees and all the little letters behind their names go on to be these decision makers with this hubris, this pretense of knowledge, like Hayek talked about, where they think they know what's best for us. So are people too comfortable with it? Sure, I think we are too comfortable with it, but I am hopeful that we're waking up to it as well.
Drop out while you still can.
I love the answer, Brandon. All right. Back to you, Adam. The category is taxation and government extraction.
Oh, my favorite topics.
Yeah. Not extracting into a bucket. It's different. It's different. Do Americans pay
It's more of an
more?
extrusion process.
Do Americans pay
That's
more?
really funny if you're an engineer, I swear.
All right, I'm going to skip you if you make me do this again. All right. Do Americans pay more to the government than they realize?
Oh, way more. It's like not knowing that you're brainwashed being that condition. It's the same thing with the denial of the cost. Again, to go back to Allison's point about the soul cost. There's human potential for creating productive value, as in material quality of life things that you can create with 1 hour of human labor goes up exponentially over time with the advance of technology. Our capacity to be productive, what we are actually producing, the machines that are now blowing up in the Middle East, that human productivity curve is exponential, and yet quality of life more or less linear. That gap is bigger than any of us can even calculate.
I agree. All right, Allison, you. Is the tax system too complex by design?
So I was a CPA once upon a time, and then I stopped taking courses and let it expire. And I'm in the process of reactivating it just for virtue signaling to clients. And I'm learning a lot more about the tax code. And I think as I learn more about it, it's fairly logical to an accountant. But what absolutely disgusts me is seeing how it's used to design society. So the complexity of it doesn't concern me as much as the intent of it. And you can see this throughout all of history. These disgusting human beings in that evil fucking place are deciding how we as humans should live our lives and what we should prioritize. The one big beautiful bill, it makes it so that you don't get a deduction for charity anymore, or at least us lowly people. I mean, if you're donating $1 million, then you can. But if you're just donating your $500 to the Goodwill, you can't get a deduction for that anymore. So they're actively making us less charitable people. And that's a part of the design. Again, I'll just keep coming back. They're stealing our souls and our humanity. And they do it through the fucking tax code. Yeah, sure, it's complex. It's logical. It's absolutely disgusting.
Wait, you help people pay taxes?
No, I make financial statements. I'm just taking tax classes for.
All right.
government.
Just checking your credentials.
All right, Brandon, to you. Are middle class taxpayers carrying the biggest burden?
Yeah, I mean, on some level, 100%. It's definitely a lot of people see there's so many different conflicting viewpoints in our mainstream society and the societal discourse about taxation, right? On one side, you hear the rich aren't paying their fair share, they're getting all these tax breaks and Elon Musk isn't paying anything. And, and then and those same people are saying, yeah, we need to tax them and then redistribute that wealth to all the poor people and give it to them and this and that. But ultimately the hubris and the idea, and it's similar to what Allison was talking about, is this social engineering, right? Using tax code to socially engineer society, to design society to their whims. And you can see it. I mean, I pay attention, really close attention here at the local level in Colorado, and so many bills this year, they're like, okay, well, let's give this person a tax credit, and they have these many kids, and they're in this status, and they're our voters, so they're going to get this tax money, and we're going to take it from these people because we don't like those people. We're going to put a new tax on guns, and we're going to give it to this group over here. And oh, guess what? It's a nonprofit. It's this NGO that's going to get all the money, and they just happen to donate to our campaigns. And then, oh, wow, yeah, this healthy school meals for all that just passed in 2025 this last year, Proposition LL and MM here in Colorado. What a wonderful idea. We're just going to tax really rich people and give this money to school lunches. You know what I mean? But really, ultimately, what it goes to is these nonprofit organizations that are then in charge of running these programs. And those nonprofit programs actually get a lot of money from the government already, and are able to use the money they take from us, or forcibly extract from us as tax money, to then lobby voters, run political ads with our stolen tax money to take more of our money. So really, ultimately, the premise of the whole question is that any tax policy, anytime the government is intervening in the economy and getting involved, they're really creating distortions, right? These market distortions change things, and it really skews the entire economic system, which creates overproduction on one side, underproduction on another. It does ultimately rob us of our future, as the other panelists were saying. So, the middle class, definitely. Middle class is disappearing for a lot of reasons. Like Allison pointed out, even with the big, beautiful bill, right? Who's writing those bills? Well, it's a lot of rich people. Who wrote Obamacare? It's the insurance companies. It's all the same game, right? It's all these people who are going to rig the system to their own benefit. And then also, at some different level, they'll say, well, we'll give some money to this group and some money to that group, and then they're all going to vote for us, and they're going to continue this system because we're basically paying off these certain members of society to perpetuate this cycle and system. So the whole system of taxation is corrupt, and it needs to end. But we got to get past the idea that it's like, oh, it's not necessarily the middle class versus the upper class, or the lower class versus the upper class. It's a government versus all of us.
Mr. Free, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And this might sound like a rant, but if you listen carefully, you might hear a question in this.
Doubtful.
In your question, you talk about like the greatest burden of government and then the middle class. And the answer I heard was all in financial terms. And my question is, would we be more effective as libertarians if we complained more that those taxes are being used to murder people and ruin people's lives and futures? Is the burden of government being borne by taxpayers or children murdered in the Middle East? I mean, it's an absurd premise to complain about that. And we live in an era of such obscene material wealth by historical standards. For the middle class in America to be like, oh, we don't have enough stuff, versus, hey, you're taking our money, you're extracting the value of our labor to murder innocent people. Hey, get some fucking perspective. Have that compassion, because if you complain more about stuff than lives being lost, you need to get your priorities straight.
Well, in my defense, I complain about all of the absurd premises. So
you'll never find all of the absurd premises, sir.
I'm 92 episodes in. I've found
too many to count.
But no, so I mean, we're talking about tax burden, and the way I like to explain it is, if you have a sandwich and they take half a sandwich, that's worse than if you have a sandwich and they take 3/4 of your sandwich, but you have 1,000 more sandwiches. So I do think it's an unfair burden on the middle class. But yeah, I mean, what they use the money for, all bad.
They murder innocent people, and they're not fair about it.
Yeah. Gosh. No, I mean, they just pick by color, I think is really how they do that. But all right, so let's jump into enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. Let's jump into the chat and see what's going on. It is hopping. People are loving this. 100 to Brandon, pity points for being in third. -100 to Adam for having Minus 100 to Adam for having friends, not very libertarian at all. Minus 200 to Adam for saying he doesn't care about the scores. The scores are more real than the value of the US dollar. I do like to call the points on this show fiat points. So they're about the same. 200 to Adam for off-grid living, but also minus 100 for doing his business in a bucket. 100 to Adam, we must escape government fiat. Minus 100 to Adam, crypto answer went into the toilet or bucket in your case. 100 to Allison, I love your run on answers. We have the ability and tech to leave their system. 100 to Adam for taking on Big Toilet and their crony business practices. 200 to Allison, we're all accomplices. 200 points to Larry Sharp for still answering Spike's question from a month ago. Oh, that's our buddy Philip. He does that every show. 300 points to Brandon for prevention against government. 100 to Brandon, I liked his answer. 200 to Adam for making me question my pooping practices.
Question everything.
100 to Allison, the difference between consent and coercion. 200 to Allie, all of that. 100 to Brandon for sounding like he talks to normal people too. 100 to Allison, the government should not exist. 100 to Brandon, create systems outside of government control. 100 to Allison for staying the most hydrated. 100 to Brandon, separation of finance and government. Decentralized finance, hell yes. 100 to Adam, I want what he's drinking. No, that's not drinking. That is not drinking. 100 to Adam, act locally. 100 to Adam, act locally. 100 to Adam, local trade, off-grid living, homesteading, and the NAP. 200 to Allison, the system isn't broken. It's working as designed. We are slaves until we choose not to be. 100 to Adam for having a bracelet, I assume was blessed by an Eskimo medicine man.
It's got symbols on it. It's pretty cool.
100 to Allison, crash the Fed. 200 to Brandon, decentralize everything. 100 to Allison, hashtag agorism, build parallel systems.
Doesn't the term parallel systems suggest they're going in the same direction?
No, they're
One stops, the other will keep going. So they're in parallel at this point in time. Yep, and then one's gonna stop. And
Parallel lines are going in the same direction.
They don't intersect. Otherwise, they'd be perpendicular.
all right. 100 to Adam,
100 points.
If I see government going in a direction, I'm going in the most different direction possible, not parallel. Just
all right. 100 to Adam, system was designed to fail us. Oh, that's Liberty Shamrocker. What's up? 200 to Allison, it's a feature, not a bug. 100 to Brandon, hashtag decentralized. 100 to Brandon, decentralized. 100 to Brandon, Central Command told me to give him points for decentralization speech. 100 to Adam, contrarian. 200 to Allison, state
I am not a contrarian.
Violence. 100 to Brandon for answering his own questions. Did that happen? Somebody answered their own question? No, I love Brandon's answer. That guy in Denver says corporations are not people. I agree. 200 to Adam for making me look balanced and reasonable. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Boost. Minus 100 to Adam. He isn't answering the questions. Oh, we all knew that. 100 to Adam for proving there is no such thing as a lethal dose of marijuana.
Science.
200 to Allison. Indoctrinated people have no idea they're indoctrinated. 100 to Brandon for being chill as fuck. 200 to Allison, statism is the most destructive religion. 200 to Allison because she teaches her kids to think outside of the schoolhouse. 200 to Brandon, local governments are often way more corrupt and centralized than people expect. 100 to Brandon, I like this guy. Didn't we have a president named Brandon?
Let's go, Brandon.
100 to Brandon for being an optimist. 100 to Allison for calling them government schools and not public schools. 200 to Allison for turning a yes into a manifesto against government power. 100 to Brandon for shitting on my degree instead of some communist toilet. 200 to Brandon, we're mostly ruled by unelected bureaucrats and wealthy elites. Democracy is mostly a charade to distract us. 100 to Brandon, people want solutions. They know the government creates problems and not solutions. 100 to Allison, intent of the system. 200 to Adam if he tells me the strain.
What?
The strain he's smoking.
Oh.
Blue Dream.
Blue Dream it is. Blue Dream it is. 100 to Brandon for the bling on his blazer. That was a tongue twister. 200 to Brandon for having the only yellow mic cord. Anarcho Audio.
Black and yellow.
One
right.
of these is not
Let's
like
check the
other.
scores here. And Allison still in the lead, 4,900 points. Brandon, 4,600. And Adam has yet to show up to play the game and has 3,725.
I won before it started.
All right. Do we got time for one more round? Let's do it. All right.
No, I'm supposed to go smoke some more.
All right. Let's go here. All right. This category is sponsored by our friends at Zoom Beyond Shrooms. That's zoomtrip.com, XUMTRIP.com. They're wonderful. Just FYI. Adam,
Zoom Beyond
you
Shrooms
would
sounds
dig it.
like a good way of describing a DMT trip.
Adam, you would dig it. You would dig it. All right. So, Adam, the question is to you. The category is drug war, legacy, and policy failure. Has the war on drugs failed?
I don't know. Drugs are doing pretty well by me right now. Can't complain.
All right. Allison, to you. Has enforcement disproportionately impacted certain communities?
We're talking about the drug war.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think less, I'll say, fortunate communities or less educated communities tend to navigate or migrate to more illegal activities. And that includes drugs because the government says so. But yeah, they absolutely target the more unfortunate, the more manipulated, the more controllable, or controllable through manipulation. So yeah, sorry, I can go on for that one, but I'll stop the run on here.
If I may amend my answer, inspired by that. It's a libertarian cliche, but it's not a war on drugs, it's a war on you.
What its success is dependent on what its goal is, right? I think the war on drugs has been extremely successful. It's just the war on drugs wasn't actually a war on drugs.
All right.
Can we stop using that term? The war on drugs, that's their term to dress up to deny the reality of it.
Everything's a war on humanity.
I agree. All right, Brandon, you. And I appreciate that you're actually answering the question that I asked you. So
Plus 500.
it's you've been based. I appreciate that. So, Brandon, did prohibition create more crime than it prevented?
Well, I mean, by definition, of course, right? Prohibition is new crimes being instituted into law. So yeah, of course, it's creating more crimes, more issues, more problems. You know, the prohibition, it's so interesting because here in Colorado, I'd say we're the first state to really fully decriminalize, legalize marijuana. You know, we beat Washington by like 2 hours or an hour because of the time difference on that same election night, you know. We've seen it. We've seen it here in Colorado, and it's been a great example of the state being able to push back against the federal government, right? Federal drug policy and all these federal laws, and the state just doing their own thing. And I think that's a good model for a decentralized type of system where we have these little laboratories of democracy, if you will, you know, not to be too cliche there. But at the same time, yeah, you know, we can just recently, the voters in Colorado, we decriminalized psychedelics. You know, I mean, it's fantastic. And I think libertarians, we really got to pat ourselves on the back and say the drugs won the war on drugs, right? If you want to call it that, the war on consciousness, the war on our freedom, the war on us. But ultimately, it's one of the best ways we're making progress. You know, most of the country now has legal marijuana. We're seeing here in Colorado, you got psilocybin, you got all these things that you can go get. They're selling them at, you know, they're not supposed to, but they're selling them at freaking gas stations and things like that, little candy bars with mushrooms in them. You didn't hear it from me, but that's what people are doing. So, you know, prohibition, of course, created tons of crimes, tons of other issues, and every government policy. But we have to be those eternal guardians, you know, that eternal vigilance, because now they're going after kratom. They passed a stupid kratom law in Colorado last year. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep pushing. There's a new marijuana bill that just got introduced in our state legislature this last week. I really got to dig into. They're going to try and change how they're taxing it, of course. So we got to fight. We got to push back. We got to do what we can. Of course, the answer is to decentralize, grow it yourself, and do what you can. But yeah, you know, prohibition is failed, and the public is on the side. The voter base of Americans are on the side of anti-prohibitionism, of freedom, and we got to recognize that, mobilize that, and we can win on that issue.
There's a hard limit on how much drugs you should do, and it's never get so high that you forget how much is being stolen from you.
All right. Or that you're on a game show.
Oh, is that what this is?
That could go either way. And speaking of which, I want to put this up on the screen real quick. Amity nuked Adam. It's a game show to educate people. Stop trying to do free job for them. And if you check out the screen here, we have a little funny animation.
We don't need to
Yeah.
educate libertarians.
No,
We already know
you got
everything.
nuked. You got nuked. Yeah, so you lost 1,000 points there. Yeah, so all right, let's jump back into it here. All right.
Does my mic get cut?
No.
No,
Then am
no,
I supposed to care?
no. You're not even really talking into the mic, so it doesn't even really matter. But all right. So Adam, to you. Category is state level drug policy experiments. Should states be free
For
to
them.
legalize drugs without federal interference?
States shouldn't exist. The federal government shouldn't exist. People should be free to put what they want in their own bodies. Simple as.
Amen.
No cap.
All right. Allison, to you. Is federal prohibition outdated?
I'm sorry, I'm just a little taken aback by that question. Federal prohibition outdated.
I also find most of your questions offensive, Mr. Free.
I think government is outdated. So along those lines, yeah, of course, their prohibition is outdated. It's just another means to socially engineer society, and I think society should evolve on its own free will, to not do drugs. I mean, I'm not a big. A lot of people like to call libertarians just Republicans that get high. I'm not a big proponent of drugs. I'm not against drugs. He's actually kind of funny when he's stoned, but
Hey, I'm funny when I'm sober too.
I think that
I'm also more coherent typically.
I think if those people that are dependent on drugs, it's not the government's place to say, no, you can't do it. It's society's place to embrace those people and help them heal from the reasons they're doing drugs. Yes, it's outdated. It's inhumane. It's disgusting. It does not solve the problem. It just creates other problems. And that's what government exists to do, create more problems.
I only do performance enhancing drugs.
We can tell.
Not before this show, though, apparently. All right. Brandon, to you. Are state experiments showing better results?
That's ultimately it. Yeah. Colorado, Washington, some of these other states were definitely the leading, we can't, and I think that's the bigger example of how we win, right? It's really that decentralized focus. Maybe you can change the law in your local community, you're at your city council, your county, or your state. You can't necessarily change the federal law, right? So many people pay attention at the federal level and say, let's decriminalize marijuana at the federal level. And great, wonderful, love to see it. Great, wonderful, whatever. But if you already do it in your home state, it's not going to affect Colorado any. Sure, maybe with some federal banking laws, blah, 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 things like that. But ultimately, the fight's at the local level, prohibition's failing. And yeah, the states are proving that in our own local communities, we can make serious gains for freedom by pushing back against these prohibitionist policies that are totally outdated. But ultimately, I think it's that decentralization and allowing local communities to kind of make their own rules and their own decisions. Even in alcohol laws are still so outdated. In Colorado, we have a 2 a.m. cutoff. We had legislators this last year in our state government, in our state legislature, trying to extend it to 2:30, and they could not get it passed because the outcry from the special interest groups like the Moms Against Drunk Driving and the sheriffs, all these people came out of the woodwork to oppose it. And it's like, oh my goodness, here we are in 2026. We got legal psychedelics, we got legal marijuana, and you can't change the 2 a.m. cutoff law to
Government
1.5
owns the
hour.
time too.
And so, ultimately we fight the battles we can win. And right now we recognize that prohibition, the drug war, those types of things, those are battles we can win, we can fight on, and we can ultimately achieve some level of victory, and that's very encouraging.
Yeah, love it, man. All right, Adam, back to you. A question you will not answer. The category is energy policy and economic pressure. Do energy policies drive up everyday costs?
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you over your shirt.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Do energy policies drive up
sorry.
everyday costs? So the format
Yeah, that's the
here,
point.
the format
That's the
here
point
is
of those
that
policies.
I ask the question and then you answer it. I didn't mean to throw you a curveball.
Fuck your format.
Yeah, all right.
No, that's the point of the policies. Government is an extraction machine.
That's fair. All right. Allison, you. Are energy shortages being created by policy choices?
Energy shortages. I'm trying to think of examples. I'm
Like
sure
when you didn't have power in Colorado last
yeah,
year.
that wasn't necessarily a shortage. It was them not wanting to deal with the liability of fires starting. I think the government policies can lead to the shortages because they have a monopoly and they can do whatever they want. And any shortages that happen, it's all about control. The increasing costs, the monopolies, the turning our electric, mine didn't go off, but I think, was it up when you that they turned it off? It's all about control.
That's what you get for
And
living on grid.
That's what you get for living on grid. And I mean, even if we go back to the crypto conversation, we have the ability, and it may be financially unrealistic for people, especially given the fact that groceries cost more than a fucking mortgage at this point. We have the ability to live off grid while living within society. So
The better society is the one that exists outside of the shadow of government. The more peaceful, the more loving, the more harmonious
Yep.
society. Always.
Yep. So shortages, prices, all of that, it's just another means of control. And the best solution to that is to get out of the systems. And our technology has evolved to allow us to do that. We just need to do it. But again, they steal all of our fucking money and kind of make it impossible. So it's definitely a hard thing for us to do.
I feel like I should get points because that was a good Colorado question. Just
It
throwing it
was.
out
I'm
there.
very proud of
Yeah.
you.
No, thank you.
Some about Colorado.
Thank you. All right. Brandon, you. Should energy independence be a top priority?
Yes, energy independence should be a top priority. We need many nuclear reactors in our homes. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you energy,
Maybe-
are you
maybe-
energy
We
independent
do.
I am energy independent
at all? Do you produce any energy in your
I
own
do
life?
not.
I
I do
have
not.
solar panels on your
I
house?
got a bucket.
I have a bucket at home. Does that count?
No, but
I
energy,
generate my own human manure.
energy
But no,
independence.
you're saying that's a priority. Are you?
It is.
I'm-
It is a priority.
I mean, I'm lovingly. I'm trying to sound, but I'm calling you out.
Shush. Let him
100%.
finish.
No, I have not done things to increase my energy independence, but I think it's a worthwhile goal. I think people who want to achieve freedom, who want to live a more individualist lifestyle or get off the grid and move in that direction, that's definitely a good priority and a good goal for people to have, 100%. And at the same time, I do think energy costs have increased the cost of everything, right? Everything relies on energy. So as energy costs go up, your food goes up. Everything goes up. And here in Colorado, we've had policy decisions that have had actually negative effects that are leading to shortages. We just had Xcel Energy, which is the largest monopoly provider of electricity here in the Denver metro area, that says they're not going to have enough capacity this year. They're not going to have enough capacity, expect blackouts, expect brownouts, these types of things. We're having issues with the airport. The airport lost power a couple weeks ago. Now, all these things are happening based on policy decisions that are happening at mostly the state level here in Colorado, our Public Utilities Commission, working hand in hand with these energy monopoly companies so they can all jack up the rates, and it ends up costing, and then they push this total thing. I'm sure you're seeing it everywhere else. I know California is leading the curve on this, but in Colorado, they're pushing it too. They want it 100% ban on the use of natural gas and fossil fuels by 2040. Insanity. No more internal combustion cars, no more natural gas water heaters, furnaces, no more cheap, abundant electricity. That's where it's going. Of course, the lawnmowers and those types of things, that's 100% where it's going. That fight for energy and energy independence is ultimately where we need to be, is a huge priority going forward. We're seeing it more and more and more as this insane green agenda is pushing us back into the dark ages.
I think some of the green, not the agenda itself, but the green technology. I mean, we can go off grid with solar panels. And I think some of the, I think some of the, for interrupting, and sorry to you, some of the left-right dynamics keep us from focusing on the things that would actually help us. Like the right gets so upset over green energy that they don't actually use it to their benefit. This technology can help us. And the more that of us that use it, the cheaper it gets. But again, to defend Brandon for not having producing his own energy, how are we supposed to pay for this
Yeah.
at this point? I mean,
well-
they take At the end of the day, it's like 60% of our income. It's 35% federal, depending on your bracket. It's
Value your soul
5%
more than your
Colorado.
material.
It's property taxes. It's sales taxes. It's this fee and that fee and everything. And we keep 40% of our fucking income. Like, how are we supposed to get off grid?
I spent $13,000 for 10 acres 10 years ago.
Yep.
I built slowly since then.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Oh, and I've beaten property taxes and zoning.
I don't think that it's green energy. I think Brandon was talking about like big green energy, like the Al Gore lunatics.
The agenda behind.
I want to
exactly.
I
I'm
want
with
to go back to
Brandon
what
on that.
Brandon was saying briefly because I thought it was such a brilliant political answer. I want to give him all my points. So he gets all my points.
I don't think
Whether
you
they're
have. I don't
positive
think
or
you have any.
negative,
I don't think
Brandon
you
gets all
have
my
any points, Adam.
Because he said that other people should prioritize something he's unwilling to do himself. I think that's a very politician kind of thing to say.
He didn't say that. You're making it up, and that's politician shit to say.
All right, last 3 questions of the night. The category is gun rights, and this one we like to point out: Free Dexter Taylor. He's in jail for 10 years in New York for assembling legal gun parts. He should not be in jail. Free Dexter Taylor. Check that out. Give to his Give, Send, Go. And Adam, the question is to you. Should states—
Objection. The term legal gun parts suggests that some gun parts could or should be illegal.
Well, no, but they were actually legal in the communist state of New York.
We're talking man's law.
Yeah. All right. So Adam, focus. Adam's eyes up here. All right.
He's
So
talking.
Sure.
should states decide their own gun policies?
No, individuals should. You have the right to defend yourself within the realm of ethics, however you are capable and see fit.
That is the correct answer. All right, Allison,
Good job,
do
Adam.
gun laws stop crime or limit lawful citizens?
Gun laws limit lawful citizens. I don't think there's ever a criminal that says, hey, the law says not to do this, I shouldn't do that. Because then if they did that, they wouldn't be a fucking criminal. So all these gun laws do are make us criminals, and you can go make me a fucking criminal. I don't give a shit. I'm not listening to you. You don't get to take my rights. And I'm sorry. I think a lot of people, this is a lot of the issue of the tyranny that's coming on us, is that people are just like, okay, I'll listen to you. Don't fucking listen. They don't have the authority to take our rights. The more we give them, the more they'll take, and they take, and they take. Stop letting them take your rights. You don't give them up. Okay, I'll stop now.
Allison, when you said you can make me a criminal, right? I'm grappling with the word itself, crime, criminal.
We're talking
Because
man's law.
Well, we're using it in this, even in this conversation, we're using it by 2 different definitions.
Yep.
Like a real crime, a crime against a human that violates their rights, their self-ownership, or an ethical crime, a true crime, versus a code violation crime, a government label of being outside the lines. And I think we do ourselves a disservice when we use that word that vaguely or ambiguously.
You know, it's funny. When I was talking to Free and Casey earlier, in taking words that have negative connotations and turning them into some things that are good, like gun nut is used as a derogatory term.
Libertarian.
Bible thumper is used as a
Anarchist.
derogatory term, and taking those words and turning them into something good. So I'll take the word criminal. I'll be a criminal. Call me a fucking criminal. I will break the law because the law is immoral
that.
and unjust.
I like that clarification. It is to stand against the state to be a criminal.
Yeah, man's law
Okay.
is garbage, and I can talk in terms of their definition. That doesn't mean I'll ever agree with it. It's nauseating and disgusting, and
Thank you.
fuck them.
All right. Last question of the night to you, Brandon. Is federal involvement in gun regulation too broad?
Federal involvement in gun regulation is too broad. It is too everything. It is too much. We should not have the federal government or our state governments, our local governments really controlling our ability to defend ourselves. It's our God-given right to self-defense. You know, every single individual has it. The government cannot take those rights away from us. They can only infringe on those rights. So recognizing that, understanding that, and really pushing back against this idea that there's any legitimacy to any government, any politician, bureaucrat, or law enforcement officer who has the moral or legal justification to deprive us of our God-given right to self-defense. That is what needs to change in terms of the hearts and minds of the people of this country, the people of this great state of Colorado, to push back and say, we're not going to take it. We're not going to follow your laws. We're going to defend ourselves and we're going to be free. That's ultimately what it comes down to. But it's going to be a long battle and a long road ahead.
At the 2018 National LP Convention, there was a debate on whether we should refer to states as the great state of whatever. And I can't remember how it came out, but it was clear to me that there's no such thing as a great state.
Great territory.
All right.
Don't you dare call me a contrarian.
Enter your scores in the chat if you have not done so already. Share this out again if you enjoyed what you saw, and tell us who you think won. Let's jump into the chat one last time here. 200 to Adam for Blue Dream searching now. 200 to Adam, just say yes to drugs. The great Phil Ryan is here. 200 to Allison for understanding the bias in the system. 100 to Free. Somebody get him a sandwich. Yeah, please. 200 to Free for doubtful. Oh, that's the nuke. And 100 to Brandon before he answered the question. 200 to Brandon for the psychedelic shout out. 100 to Brandon for letting us know why he was at the truck stop. 100 million to Terry for tracking points. Terry Batts is the best. Follow her, please. 100 to Adam for stopping by on his way to the Don Williams impersonator conference. 100 to Adam. He's been alone in that closet for 2 hours. It's too high to notice. 100 to Allison. Government is outdated. 100 to Adam. I am indeed entertained. 100 to Brilliant Brandon. 100 to Brandon for handling his weed really well. 100 to Adam. Government is an extraction source. 100 to Adam. Homestead and off the grid is the way to go. 200 to Adam if his next answer has at least 2 sentences. I don't think he met that requirement. He answers everybody else's questions, though. 100 to Brandon for nuclear energy. 100 to Allison. Energy is being monopolized. Prioritize independence off the grid. 100 to Brandon for his energy efficient answer. That's cool. 100 to Brandon. Mitochondria for doing their part for energy independence. 200 to Adam for promoting agorism in the most confrontational way possible. 200 to Allison for telling us how we're all trapped in a system by its wealth extraction. 100 to Allison for calling out the right-left paradigm when it's the government who's the enemy. Oh, the Libertarian Party's jumping in here. Free Dexter Taylor. Another free Dexter Taylor. 100 to Adam for calling out my own hypocrisy before I did. 200 points each for Dexter Taylor. Is this your mom? I think your mom's in the chat on your YouTube.
Me?
My mom is so smart, y'all.
It's my daughter.
Oh, your daughter. All right, excellent. Libertarian Party says shall not be infringed, 100%. 200 to Adam, individual. 100 to Allison. 100 to Adam, individuals decide how to defend themselves. Matt says all gun laws are an infringement. Free Dexter Taylor, 100% Matt. 200 to Allison, you don't get to take my rights. 100 to drugs, winning the war on drugs. Yeah,
No,
sure.
the people on drugs are winning the war on drugs. If you don't do drugs, you're just like okay with the default settings all the time. I don't think so.
200 to Alley. 100 to Alley, the law is unjust, so call me a criminal. 200 to Alley for being a criminal. 100 to Brandon, government infringement is wrong and evil. And 100 to Allison, 100 to Brandon for the Liberty fist bump. Let's check out the scores one last time and see who won. Can we get a drum roll? Can you guys beat on something? And Allison went end to end here, 6,800 points. Brandon just behind, 6,300. Adam doesn't know he was on the show tonight, but somehow scored 43-25. Adam, you just got here. You came in third place. What did you think, brother?
I was supposed to be thinking.
It
This was a game show.
was optional. It was
It was
optional.
optional, guys. Freedom.
Plug what you got going on, brother.
I just spent really 4 years working on a book about how to dismantle global systems of power by simply living a more principled lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you withdraw your consent, but leave yourself vulnerable to being victimized by the system. Don't be a victim, exit the system, starve the beast. That's how we build a better world. We don't fight our way to freedom. We love, we build, we create our way to freedom.
I agree, man.
ExodusDoctrine.com, live on the official release date tomorrow to celebrate the Colorado LP convention. And I gotta read something really quickly because I made a special edition of this book just for the Colorado LP convention. And it says, "This is to honor everyone who makes this event possible, all my fellow free-range philosophers, bronze medal winners, bylaws enthusiasts, tax evaders, clipboard-wielding apostles of consent, black marketeers, platform purists, super chill extremists, coercion castigators, super aggressive NAP enforcement officers, perennial candidates, perpetual debaters, debate stage empty chair occupants, hard mode political players, running campaigns powered by principal memes, spare change, and bad game shows. My brothers and sisters in spiritual arms, my fellow freedom fighters, my people. I honor you because it is you who stand on principle. It is you who fight, lose, and fight again for the sake of the righteous fight. It is you who will choose loving your way to freedom over fighting every single time. It is you who win for freedom. It is you who are ushering in the next chapter of the human story as we turn the page away from these dark days and together dance into the light. Peace, love, and Exodus.
Minus 100 for not including good game shows.
We have those?
Yeah, we have them. Let me plug your stuff here. Adam is an activist, speaker, author. Check him out on thegardenofreedom.com, exodusdoctrine.com, or on Telegram, the Garden of Freedom. Appreciate you doing this. I'll fill you in tomorrow on how it went.
Hey, it's been an honor.
Yeah.
It's to be invited from out of state, to be a friend of the Colorado LP, and to be a part of something this in the spirit. Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate having you, brother. All right. And second place was Brandon Wark. What'd you think, buddy?
Hey, thank you very much for the opportunity. It was a lot of fun. Love the chat. It was a blast. You know, it was all, it was just a great time. Really fun. Appreciate you guys coming out and doing this. I think it was a good experience, and keep encouraging it, you know, ultimately.
And plug what you got going on.
Yeah, you know, so freestatecolorado.com. I started it in COVID times back in 2020. But really the idea is, and I really want to encourage everybody out there, get involved at the local level. You know, we pay so much attention. We see so many things, and you see all these national podcasters and all these news stuff and social media. It's all about Middle East and Iran and Trump and this and that. And don't get me wrong, that's all important. But is it as important as what's happening in your city council meeting? Is it important to the mill levy increase they're going to put on your ballot to raise your property taxes this year or raise your water rates? Is it the law that's going through our state legislature that's going to require age verification in our computer systems? Those are the fights that very few people are paying attention to, and each and every single one of us can have an outsized influence at the local level. We can't do anything. We have such an insignificant influence at the national and international level, but here in our own local communities, everybody out there, get involved, know what's happening, know who's your city council, your mayor, county commissioners, legislature, find the others in your community who believe in liberty and freedom, get organized and push back, because that's what it's going to take, fighting at the local level and focusing on what's happening in our own communities. That's ultimately the message. That's how we can be empowered and how we can create a free state of Colorado and a free communities everywhere.
Awesome, man. And you can follow Brandon on his website, freestatecolorado.com. He's on X at freestatecolor1 and on Facebook and YouTube at Free State Colorado. Appreciate you doing this, brother. Really good time, man. And first place, the lovely Allison. What'd you think?
I don't know that I've been called lovely before. That's so nice. Thank you.
We can call you the meat and the beard sandwich.
Meet the beard sandwich. This was a ton of fun. So grateful that Brandon and Adam joined us here today. It was great being a part of this beard sandwich. Was here once before with two other men as well and lost that one. So it's nice to be a little vindicated against some men today. should I plug anything here, or where do I go now?
It's your choice to play.
I don't really have anything to plug at this point in time. Not ready to quite talk about things I'm working on. I think a lot of the audience online knows I'm working on rearranging my life to try to have more of an impact on the world. And I think, I've said it, I think tonight, I think we are the people that are the leaders for the next world to come, if it's anything to be good. Otherwise, we're just stuck in a communist technocracy. But I like to preach to people that fear is the root cause of government, and fear is the root cause of almost everything negative in this world. I wasn't actually planning on being a contestant tonight. I was a backup because I procrastinate on asking other people. But I had asked someone else to be here, and because he had said something once at a Liberty on the Rocks event that we have here in Colorado, I had asked him a question on how you get other people on board kind of with what you're working on. And his answer was to have courage and use the example of COVID, where everyone in a store is wearing a mask. And when you take your mask off, other people take their mask off. So we need more people in this world that are willing to take their mask off, and I'm willing to take my mask off. I am a criminal. I break many laws. I'm not going to tell which ones. I'm happy to do it. You can probably tell which ones I break. And I encourage you all to not obey illegal laws, not to follow man's law, to follow God's law, whatever you may believe God is. And if you are scared and you have fear, give it to Jesus and be free. Only free people can free people.
Awesome. Yeah. And you can follow Allison on X. She is all is good 007. Follow LP Colorado at LPCO. She's the LP Colorado treasurer. That is lpcolorado.org. And we appreciate LP Colorado having us out here. We had a ton of fun. And real quick, you can follow me and Terry on X. I am at Smarter Game Show. She is Bats T76. And we have our swag up at freedomsuperstore.com. If you want cool shirts or mugs, you can follow us on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. Thank you again to Xano for sponsoring tonight. Your privacy matters. Choose Xano, the leading blockchain platform that prioritizes confidentiality and security. And if you're new to the space, a great place to start is intro.xano.org. And thanks again to Zoom. Check them out at zoomtrip.com. Thank you to our subscribers. You can subscribe to us on X. That is your backstage pass. And if you want to sponsor the show, studio at freedomuncut.com. And next month, we will be at the Libertarian National Convention in Grand Rapids. You can register to be there at lnc2026.com. And then in July 8th through 11th, we will be at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas. This is the Super Bowl of the Liberty Movement. You can register at freedomfest.com and use the Spike 100 code to support You Are the Power. We will be at their space at Freedom Fest doing our show, and we are so excited. Once again, thanks to all of you for doing this. Thanks for having us out. Thank you to the live audience. We had a great time. And also thanks to the chat. You guys make this so much fun. And we will see you next Friday on Eastern time for real, 8 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you.